What's good, guys? Welcome back. So this is going to be part 2 of our single target DPS build. Part 1, we touched on character, powers, some of the ability rolls, race rolls, and stats that you need. So we're going to go over boons, companions, and mounts, like I say. Take it with a pinch of salt. You work with what you've got in terms of how much dollar you got, because it is expensive when you start getting into companions and mounts. Like, whew. Yeah, I'm thinking about selling a kidney for a Tensor's flying disc. But, if you know a guy who can hook me up with one, let me know. So, boons, it's a tricky one. It's a tricky one because I've gone for my main stats plus a little bit of survivability, just because I hate getting squished, I run with pugs. I pug it a lot. I don't really run with a set group of people, with a set healer and stuff. So I am reliant on myself to have potions and kits and stay alive. I can't just stand in a healing circle and be like, yay! So survivability is a must for me. So first and foremost, I have not got all of the boons. You may not have all the boons, you may. If you do, great, stick them where we can. If not, work towards them and we'll go from there. So the first tier, obviously we want power. Power is pretty much, we take it all the way. Crit strike, again, it's tier 2, power. We're going to go for armor pen, power. We're going to go for combat advantage. And on this one, tier 3, we're going to pick up companion influence by 2%. Because we want to try get over a 20% on our companion influence, and that's going to give us enough of an increase of rounded stats off our companion to make it worth it, compared to sticking it in a 5,000 in one stat. It pushes us over the threshold for most of them, so we want to get it over 20%, and with the build that we've got currently plus this boon, it's over 20%. Done, dusted, don't have to worry about it. We've gone for power on tier 4. I've gone for 1 in accuracy just because I've looked at some of the gear and artifacts and stuff that I want to get once I've hit end game. I'm in the new dungeon, in the new places, I've got $1, and accuracy is quite a lot basically, so I don't need that much. So I've thought ahead, stuck 1 point in there because I know I'm going to be gaining quite a bit of accuracy, and I'll be losing quite a lot of critical strike, so that's why I've gone for just 1. Deflection, I'll put 4. Again, this is just for my survivability. You can put it in defense if you want, you can put it in awareness, it's entirely up to you. Personally, I like deflect because you can deflect some of the attacks, some of the heavy attacks, which is how I survive. Once I've hit end game, if I have a set group that I run with all the time, don't have to put it in that for your single target DPS. Stick it in recovery speed. Stick the 4 points in there, or stick the 4 points in action point gain. Definitely. But yeah, that's just a little bit of survivability for the time being. We've gone for critical severity 4 out of 4. That's a no-brainer. We want over that 100% threshold. We're currently sat at 101. Yeah, defo, get that in there. An action point gain, we want this as high as we can. So we're going to go for the 4 out of 4. And then when we get the rest of the boons, we are going to stick it in recovery. We're going to stick 4 in recovery. And I may, I may have to put 1 more in accuracy, depending on end game. Like I say, I've had a look, and I don't think I need to, but you never know. So we may have to stick 1 in there. If not, then we are going to stick it in. Where did it go? Where did it go? Undead? Nope. I'm gonna go demons, because I find there's quite a lot of demons in a lot of the dungeons. You've got Castle Never, you've got all different other dungeons, and demons come up more than the others. So yeah, I'm gonna stick some in demons just to get that extra 1, 2, 3% damage. Master boons, we have gone for Deathly Rage because we are DPS. Increased combat advantage by 500 per rank. That's what we need. Increased damage done by 2% per rank. Definitely. And add 4,000 damage per rank to each attack. Yes, please. Thank you very much. That's like Christmas and everything rolled into one. but we don't have the third one yet, so we'll wait to pick up that one. Guild Boons, power, no, definitely. I say if you, yeah, stick with power, always. Defense, I just go for defense, just because we don't have any of the others like deflection. I would probably go for deflection if I could, but we don't have it, so defense is the way to go. And I just go for gold because I like shiny things. Let's get over that. Let's put that out there. You like shiny things, I like shiny things. XP if you... Nah, just stick with gold. Just stick with gold. You don't need to move faster on your mount. You don't need XP. You want gold. Everybody likes gold. Companions, this is where, again, it's subject to what you can afford. Or subject to what I can afford for this video, really. So, this is my setup. Augment is best in slot right now, best companion you can get. I've gone for the Ironstone of Might just because it was the one I had the most bolstering. It's currently legendary. But if you've got a augment pet in whatever is the highest, go with that one. Run with that. Because it would be cheaper just to buy, you know, the purple ones in that category than it would be to start leveling up the rest of them. So whatever the high bolster is that you've got, look for a augment pet and go from there. So like I say, I've gone for Ironstone of Might. Stats, as you know, go directly to you. Once it's at legendary, you get this. Gives an additional bonus to hit points, deflect, defense, shared with the owner. Perfect. Gives us more survivability. Augmentation, adds your companion stats to you, as you know. Try and get them as high as you can. Bonding runestones, you know about these. Get them as high as you can. These are the first things that you need to be upgrading. Forget everything else. Upgrade these to at least rank 13. Like, it doesn't matter if you're running rank 9s and 8s in these, because it's not going to make that much of a difference compared to, you know, rank 8s or 9s of your bonding runestones, or even 10s. So your first port of call, get these up to 13 at least. Yeah, bondings, as you know, it's a no-brainer, definitely. You do get 3 pieces of gear from the new campaign. I did not get my 3rd piece here. Don't know why. I never got it, never found it, and it's annoyed me. But you'd have more stats if you've got all 3, definitely. Now, in terms of what you're going to put in them, again, it's what you need for your build. You'll know what you need. If you need more armor pen, you're going to stick armor pen. If you need more crit strike, you're going to put more crit strike. But I would say have one dedicated one for power, because power is the stat that we ultimately just want more of. Just dedicate one to power, stick it in, make sure one is up here. I've got 2 accuracy, but you know, when I get one of those to rank 13, I can take the other one out and I can slot a power one in there. So again, we're gaining more power, but still having that over the 66,000 threshold for the stats we need. I personally run Armor Break just because it helps out not only you but the rest of the team. You know, chance on hit to reduce enemies' defense by up to 2,000 for 15 seconds. You know, if some of your other teammates are running that as well, the same one, or say if they're running the one where it's decrease awareness, you know, you run in there, you're taking what, 2, 4, sometimes maybe 6,000 depending on how many are running it for that boss. All of you are gonna hit harder, and you're gonna do a lot more damage, and it just helps the team. So that's the one that I go for, and I would recommend, you know, most people run, because it just drops it by a lot more than just 2,000 here, 2,000 there, or oh, you gain 2,000 power. Great. No, let's help everyone else out. Ironstone, these are again subject to what you have and how much you can afford. I wish I could afford more, but that's just that. Woohoo! Siege Master is a definite if you can get it. Increases your at-will power by 2%. It's, yeah, definitely. If you can get the Deep Crow, get that. Is it 6,000 power? It's a lot of power, definitely, but it's expensive. Like, you're selling kidneys and other organs for that. I've gone for armor pen, accuracy. On combat start, your accuracy and deflector increased by 2,000. Again, it's just what I had that fits well with the build that I've got and the money that I've got for this game. You can choose what you need. You know, if you've got different companions and it's better than that, stick it in by all means. If you can have a constant stat, that would be better. But these, you know, I don't need more crit strike. I don't really need crit avoidance. We want that damage. So I run with this. We don't do outgoing healing. So it's one of those. When I can replace it, I will do. Some of them are pretty cheap to pick up. Like, you can pick up this one, the Cell Sword, pretty cheap. 1,500 accuracy. We need the accuracy. Air Archon. The Archons aren't great anymore. Let's all be honest. Let's just put that out there. They're not great. So, but you can pick up these ones pretty cheap. You can pick up, you know, dancing shields. The dancing shield pretty cheap. I got this as a drop. This is a drop as well. But yeah, you can pick it up pretty cheap. Just look for ones that are going to give you a solid stat, a constant solid stat in either power, accuracy, crit and combat advantage if you can. Now, one that I did get, which I thought would work, is this, the Razor Blight. Is it? Yeah. 3% crit severity and 1,500 accuracy. It doesn't work. It's bugged for some reason. As you can see, crit severity is still at 101%. I've tested it for a few hours. I've taken my critical severity below 100% and tried to add it on to see if it would add on. Nothing at all. So that's something that needs to be fixed. I don't know if Cryptic and Neverwinter know about it yet, but if we can get that out there, try and get it sorted, because you know it's a 300,000 AD companion, which it doesn't work. So I'm putting it out there. Yes, it's great, and we want it, we want to run it, but just putting it out there that it is bugged for the time being, and you will not get that 3% crit severity. It's just the way it is. Mounts, again, we want as much power as we can. I don't have any legendary mounts, but if you can get the 10,000 power, get it. If you've got it, stick it on, or whatever's going to give you the most stats. I just couldn't afford it. Let's be honest. 2 million, 6 million, 7 million, 10 million for a mount. I'm all good, thank you. Can't afford that. Mount powers, I don't have any. Like I said, I don't have a legendary mount. But if you get one, stick it on. Stick it on, definitely, if you've got one. Even if it's any, really, it's gonna give you that advantage. Ideally, you'd be wanting to go like your Tensor's Flying Disc and stuff like that for the DPS and the damage. They are expensive, so take it with a pinch of salt. Use what you've got. We work with what we've got, and yeah. Mount insignias and powers. It's an odd one because there's not many cheap ones that we can get which help us. I've gone for survivability here just because, like I said, I don't run with a dedicated team, dedicated healer, so I'm relying on myself to keep myself alive. Potions, you see them there on the bar, 20 and 6. You know, I always have potions stacked, ready to go. So survivability is a must for me. So, you know, on a critical strike, receive a heal. Yeah, it's on a 1% maximum hit points, but you crit so much, like, there's no point not having it. It's cheap. You know, the mount's cheap, the insignias are cheap. Gives you a little self-heal. Move faster so I can get out of the way of stuff, because we are slow. When you receive combat advantage damage, you are healed over time. You know, it's just the extra little heals. And then these two are. This one is a buff. I definitely run it. It just helps out your team. You know, it's cheap to get. Well, relatively cheap to get. Whenever you use a daily power, you and your teammates' defense is increased by 1,500, and their movement speed increased for 10 seconds. You know, use your daily power, and you're going to help out your team. And you can stick some insignias in there. Now, the ones that say for your companion, when your companion attacks, they don't stack to you. So, you know, you're not going to gain the 200 armor pen and defense. You're not going to gain the bonuses from those if you're running an augment pet. It just doesn't work. So we're a bit limited in terms of what we can use. So yeah, just bear in mind, buying a mount, you've got an augment pet, it does not transfer over. I thought it did, that's why I went for them. You know, I've got, you know, the apparatus have gone here. It was for my companion stats, but it doesn't work. So that's just the way it is. Artificial persuasion, definitely get. Definitely, whenever you use an artifact power, your cooldowns are reduced by two seconds. But again, they're all subject to what you can afford. But these ones are relatively cheap, and they will give you that bonus of life, you know, bit of heals, and movement speed, just to get out of the way of stuff. In terms of insignias, I run these just for the combat advantage, skills, and dominance for power and companion influence. Now, they are expensive as you start going into the purple ones. So it's really what you can afford. You can pick up the blue ones for pretty cheap, but the purple ones, you're going to start paying a bit more for the dominance and the skill, because they're the two stats which we want as high as we can, combat advantage and power. So yeah, definitely start stacking some of those. And if you can, get them to purple. Definitely do it. So yeah, that was Boons, Companions and Mounts. If you have any questions or anything else, let me know. Definitely do an AoE build soon. If you want to see me test anything or run stuff that you think, oh, you know, does this work with this? And if I've got it and if I can afford it, I will definitely do it. So comment down below, let me know what you want to see. That was the part 2 of the single target DPS build. Let me know if you run it, let me know if you test it, see what you think of it. Personally, I think it does quite well. We are quite a bit of a heavy hitter when it comes to single target. I am now currently working on the AoE build, and it's doing quite well, if I'm honest. Like, it's surprising how well the fighter is still at DPS. So definitely stay tuned for that one. Looking to start doing some Twitch streaming now that I've got better internet, to be honest. It wasn't the greatest last time. So yeah, comment, subscribe, let me know these are not the droids you're looking for, just putting it out there, and have fun. Thank you.